day, and welcome to Inventors World Today. We are a science news program dedicated to discussing some of the greatest inventors in history and their inventions. With the anniversary of the death of Galileo coming in January, we thought we would explore a few of the many inventions of this great man. Let us begin with a brief history lesson of this great man called Galileo. Galileo was an Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer. He was born on February 15, 1564 in Pisa, Italy, and died on January 8, 1642 in Arcetri, Italy. As a young man, he attended the University of Pisa and found a love of discovery and inventing that would span his entire life. Galileo is also called the father of observational astronomy and the father of modern science. His discoveries and inventions have had a lasting impact on the world. One of Galileo's first known inventions was the hydrostatic balance in 1586 at the age of 22. He was inspired by the story of Archimedes and began looking into how jewelers weighed precious metals in air. His invention improved the method of weighing precious metals by creating an arm in which a counterweight was hung, and based on the amount of counterweight, the weight could be determined. This invention made it easier for jewelers to weigh their product. Galileo invented the forerunner to the modern thermometer in 1593 at the age of 28. His thermoscope consisted of a base filled with water attached to a thin vertical pipe with a large empty glass ball at the top. Changes in temperature of the glass ball exerted vacuum pressure on the water below, causing it to rise or fall in the thin vertical pipe. This has served the medical profession well ever since. While Galileo did not invent the telescope, he did refine it to the point that you could see farther than any telescope at the time. He constructed what became known as the Galilean Telescope in 1609 at the age of 45. His best telescope magnified objects about 30 times, and despite its flaws, it was still good enough for Galileo to explore the beautiful sky. Galileo used his telescope to discover the 4 largest moons of Jupiter in 1610 at the age of 46. The moons named Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. Though Galileo named the 4 moons Medici and stars, they were later renamed Galilean Moons in his honor. Galileo's observation of the satellites of Jupiter caused a revolution in astronomy, as it contradicted the principles of Aristotelian cosmology, which held that all heavenly bodies should circle the Earth. Even though Galileo had pretty good inventions, not all of Galileo's brilliant inventions and research go without controversy. He believed that the Earth revolves around the sun. This was deemed heretical by the Catholic Church. The Church had decided the idea that the sun revolves around the Earth and that it was a fact that could not be disputed. In 1633, at the age of 69, Galileo agreed to not teach the heresy anymore and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. It took the Church over 300 years to admit that Galileo was right and to clear his name of heresy. As we have discussed throughout this program, Galileo is important to discuss in present day because he is one of the most famous astronomers in the world. He changed the world's view in space and science. He is credited with many other achievements we did not discuss, such as the discovery that Saturn had rings and the confirmation of Copernicus' theory. We really have no idea how advanced we are due to this one man's devotion to science. I hope you have enjoyed today's look into the past at the great inventor Galileo. I know I sure did. Thank you for joining us on Inventors World today. We will be back soon with a look at another great inventor of our world. Remember what I always say, where would we be without the great mind of inventors?
Storybox Audio.